Yo, what up, good looking people out there? As always, I'm TJ McClellan, broker of Fitness Realty. I love being with you guys, so thank you for being here. This is going to be episode 87. We're going to talk about taking a big risk. My story is going to involve $2.2 million. So if that doesn't key up your interest, then you might as well just swipe right or left, or I've never done any of that swiping, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you don't like it, just click off here. It's fine. Episode 87, though, we're going to be talking about taking a big risk. I'm going to share a story about my personal experience right now, and that story is with my first rental out in Missouri. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never met these people. I've never seen it. I've never seen that area. I've never seen the property. I've never even been there. But I had a team that was helping me understand what rental property looks like. And I had a team that was what we call boots on the ground out in Missouri, helping me to find the best piece of property to invest my money in. As we all know, we all work really, really hard for the money that we earn. And most of us aren't out there just blowing it every day and just spending it on willy-nilly stuff. And most of us would love a piece of property or an investment that can continue to pay us for as long as we live, or at least for a little while, or we all want the sweet ROI or return on investment. There's not one person that I've ever met that's like, no, I don't want passive investments or passive wealth generation or passive income. People just don't say that. You know, I mean, maybe somebody now is saying it while you're watching this and you're down there being a keyboard warrior or something like, no, I don't want passive income. But let's be real. If you had passive income and you could do whatever you wanted and you could move on to something else and do things that you'd like in your day and not have a W-2 job or a regular job, we all think that that would be pretty cool. In my opinion, I think that'd be pretty cool. So for me, moving that needle forward or pushing that ball forward came with a rental property. I've spoken about this rental property on here many, many times. It is my property in Missouri. As you guys know, I have never seen it. I've never been there. I've never held the keys. I don't know. I mean, I know what it looks like from pictures, but I just don't know that much about it. But the cool thing is I took the risk because it was calculated risk. Something that's mentioned across real estate investing is that risk is calculated in real estate. Yes, there is risk. Every investment has risk, but it's a calculated risk in real estate. And it's easy to get all of the known factors and unknown factors to be on a table, and you can understand what those look like to make sure that the best benefits can outweigh those negative pieces in a residential real estate portfolio. The other thing that you can really do is that the risk is just the unknown. And if, in my case, when I was very first starting out with my rental property in Missouri, I had no idea what I was even getting into. I didn't know what cash reserves I needed. I didn't know what numbers looked like. I didn't really know what the purchase prices were going to look like. I knew a lot about how to buy a home and help other people buy homes, but as a rental property, all of that was foreign. Active duty passive income and tons of other of my mentors here in Utah, lenders that understand rental property, lots of YouTube videos, lots of learning, lots of coaching, and a lot of courses that I went to. Those all helped me understand rental property in a way that I could invest in Missouri. So for me, I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis. Like I said, I've broken this down many times in spreadsheets and everything like that, but I purchased that home out in Missouri for $200,000. So for me to do it as an investment property, typically to get the financing, you need 25% down. So that's $50,000. There was closing costs and some things in there, but we're just going to leave it as $200,000 purchase price, $50,000 down. And that's how I got that first rental property. That one right now, the very first month that it was rented out for me was cash flowing about $600. Now, I've learned a lesson from that. I had an adjustable interest rate on that, which obviously we don't love, and it was a product that I was learning about. Still think the product is decent, but there's some things that I would do differently. However, that adjustable interest rate made it so that my cash flow now is really close to like $200 a month, which is still pretty good for a rental real estate or a long-term rental real estate property. However, it's not as good as what it was. So if I had a fixed 30-year interest rate, I would be in a way better position than I am right now. However, that piece of property got me to start my rental property portfolio. And what I love to showcase there is I had a large risk sending somebody $50,000 that I had never even seen. I wired it to a title company that was in charge of taking care of the closing. Now, a lot of my clients have done that with us and our title company, so I really understand there is a risk there, and it feels kind of scary a little bit. But the major risk for me was understanding that I didn't know all the things about rental property, so I was taking a risk there. So for all of you guys out there, if rental property looks like something you're interested in, but you think it is a big risk, come and learn about it. When you learn about it and focus on it, it takes some of the risk away, and it really helps broaden your mind and enlighten you about what it really is. And that kind of helps you minimize the risk that is associated with rental property. Okay, now let's get to the story that talks about 2.2 million, because that's probably what you're really here for. So I have a couple of friends, really good friends of mine. In fact, one of my friends is married to somebody that's on our team right now. And so they're really amazing people, but I want to kind of break this story down. I helped them sell a house, and then we hired one of the spouses, and she sold another house, and I helped them buy a piece of property. So a lot of things going on, right? They sold a house that was over on the East Coast. They sold another house that was with me. They bought a piece of property with me, and then they sold another house with the spouse that's on our team. That is a lot of life-changing buying and selling that most people never even think about, because they might not buy or sell 2 homes in their entire life. These guys were doing a lot. The piece of ground that they did buy is up near one of the ski resorts up north, kind of close. Anyway, really nice piece of property, an amazing setup, and they were working on getting the financing piece for the new build that they want to do. And lo and behold, that's pretty difficult to do sometimes. The financing wasn't coming together. The architect drawings weren't coming together. A few hiccups led to about 18 months of them living in a fifth wheel up on this piece of property. And lo and behold, or obviously last year's winter was insanely cold and insanely long and had an insane amount of snow. So now you can kind of get the idea. They're up there, they got their piece of ground, they're living in a fifth wheel, and oh, by the way, when it was snowing like crazy, they sent their boys up on top of the fifth wheel to shovel it off, and one of them punctured a hole right in the membrane for the fifth wheel and started leaking like a sieve. So a lot of bad, right? They're taking a huge risk to get this piece of property and get a new build project going on this piece of property. So when they were first trying to put this together, they thought they were going to value the piece of property at $1.2 million. So that would be the property and the architecture plans to build the new build that they wanted. And they had to get those plans so they could give those to the financing company or the lending institution so that they could get the lending institution to sign off on these plans and start funding the money so that they could actually break ground, build the house, stuff like that, right? You can kind of see how that works. Well, lo and behold, they get this whole process going. They get their timing. They finally get the drawings together, and the plans get pushed to the lending institution. There's an appraiser that looks at the plans and figures out what the home's going to be worth plus the ground. This is the crazy part. My buddy, he calls me up and he's like, dude, I'm not calling you to say I'm bragging or anything. And I totally would understand somebody could be in a position to feel like that. But I want to assure my buddy, I am very supportive of you. I'm so excited. But my buddy calls me and he's like, dude, I'm not calling to say I'm bragging, but we just got our appraisal back for our property with the architecture plans, and it's $2.2 million. I was ecstatic for him. I just started hooping and hollering on the phone, and as you guys know, I'm kind of crazy. So whatever, I started cheering for him, getting excited because I knew that he just became a multi-millionaire on paper, which still counts, like that. But they took a big risk, right? They took a big risk. It was a calculated risk, but it actually paid out in a big, big way. So I'm not saying that everybody's going to run out there, buy ground, get some architecture plans, make $2.2 million. That's just not how it works. But if you see the right opportunity and the right piece of property and put that in your portfolio and understand how it works and understand the risks associated with that, there is an opportunity for you to make a very, very big increase in your personal wealth. So I just want to say kudos to my friends over there. You guys are multimillionaires on paper. Amazing stuff. I can't wait to see the finished product. I know they're breaking ground like right around now. It is probably a 1-year build, which is crazy. So good luck, guys. I love you guys and all the things that you guys have helped me understand. And I hope to one day be in your shoes in a position where I can see that the risk that I'm about to take is going to be well worth it because of the payday on the other side. So anyway, this is TJ McClelland. I'm the broker of Fitness Realty. If you guys love this content, please like, share, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. I will be bringing you more deep content and more interviews because we're going to be setting up more interviews as well on this podcast. And I'm going to be asking them hard questions about what they make, about how they run their business. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, come back and see us. And I love you. See ya.